everyone. We are here at Smartwash Studios. My name is Sky and I'll be your host for today. And we are joined by our friends from Alliance Laundry Systems, beginning with their sales director for Southeast Asia, Dr. Sakri Kirai.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay to you as well. We are also joined by Alliance Laundry Systems Asia Pacific Sales Director. Please say hi, Eddie Tai.
Hi, everyone.
And today, we are also privileged to be joined by the Managing Director for the Asia Pacific area of Alliance Laundry Systems, Ben Dawes.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
And today, we are also joined by the Marketing of Smartwash Manila. Please say hi, Ms. Donna Miranda.
Mayang adlaw!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the special podcast session featuring the Asia Pacific executives of Alliance Laundry System together with Smartwash. Today, we'll be discussing the current landscape of the laundry industry in the Philippines, emerging opportunities across the Asia-Pacific region, global trends shaping modern laundromats, and how strategic partnerships are helping drive innovation and growth in the country. This is an exciting conversation, especially for entrepreneurs, operators, and investors looking to understand where the industry is heading in the next few years. Thank you so much for joining us here at Smartwash Studios. To begin, we would like to ask our guests to briefly introduce themselves and, of course, share your roles, whether it's for Alliance Laundry Systems or for Smartwash.
Hi everyone, madayaw na adlaw. My name is Donna May Miranda. I handle sales and marketing for Smartwash.
Thank you, Ms. Donna. Up next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Dodds. I am the Managing Director for Asia Pacific for Alliance Laundry Systems.
All right, nice to have you here, Ben.
Hi everyone, my name is Eddie Tay. I'm the Senior Sales Director for Asia Pacific. I run the commercial part of the business for APAC for Alliance Laundry System.
Thank you for joining us here, Eddie.
Mabuhay Philippines. My name is Dr. Sakri Kirai. I'm Sales Director of Southeast Asia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kirai, for joining us here in the Philippines. All right, now we've got a few questions here which allow our audience members to gain insight into the laundromat industry here in the Philippines and in the nearby countries. The first question is this. From your experience across Asia Pacific, what are the key factors that make a laundromat franchise business successful in this specific region?
So I think in Southeast Asia, the principle, we have the blueprint for, we call it coil laundry in Southeast Asia mainly. We have in Thailand and I saw a lot in the Philippines. They use a small chassis, the home machine, and they adapt with what you call the coil meter, right?
Yes.
This is during the period, I think Thailand about 20-30 years ago. Right. So now it's time for us to change to use the professional machine, industrial machine,
Right.
to become the standard of global standard for the laundromat. That's why I think it's not really difficult, for people to adapt from the normal machine to use professional machine, which is then needed, right? And as you can see, we are saying, right? In Southeast Asia, the behavior, right? The lifestyle,
Yes.
the income, all we all know the same. So what we are in a way we are looking for, how to say, saving the time, right? And how to saving money and have more time. So the laundromat is giving the best solution for them. You spend 1 hour, you can do the whole, whatever you have, how many basket of laundry, example, right? You can do within 1 hour in the laundromat. And you spend less than you're doing it at the laundry or even at home.
Yeah.
This is the one of principle that success in South Asia. Yeah.
So the technology you've provided these Southeast Asian countries now allows us to do all of these within 1 hour, 28 minutes, basically. Despite our weather here, these shops are not air conditioned, but it's fine. You barely notice the time go by, and you've given them convenience. You've given them great results for the time that they've invested, which is a very short amount of time. That is so great. Thank you so much. Does anyone want to follow up on that answer, which is basically what are the key factors that make a laundromat franchise business successful in this region, aside from the updated technology and the efficiency?
I'll just add a little bit into that. So when we talk about key factors for success, I think obviously, Suku's covered most of that. What I would say is, what is the opportunity and why is laundromat such an opportunity? And if we look at other parts of the region, I think we'll cover some of that later. But um, everybody, certainly in South, I think not being Asian originally, one of the things that is fascinating about Asia is that everybody is an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurial societies in Asia just don't exist in the West. Okay, if you look at the US and Europe, I come from the UK originally. So if we look at Asia, we look at the entrepreneurial society that is, especially here, specifically Southeast Asia. So, and then you look around, and of course, the things that come to mind are things like 7-Eleven, convenience stores. When you think about coffee shops are just crave everybody wanting to invest in something. Have your own business, small business owner, and being entrepreneurial and having your own kind of freedom. Now, why Laundromat fits into that is that there is a similar, most of the time less investment required in a laundromat than a convenience store or a coffee shop or a spa or a hair salon. Or in fact, it's funny because all of those things are also customers of a laundromat. So you have all of that, but the flexibility of the business for you to own and still do other things is what makes laundromat ownership so attractive. So passive income. There's very little in staffing. You have a lot of flexibility in how you own or manage your laundromat. So you can have full service like is here in the Philippines. Everywhere we go in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific, there's slightly different ways of doing it, right down to self-service. Nobody's in, open 24 hours. And you know, as an owner, you just ensure that your store is clean, is tidy, and is a nice place for people to do laundry. They become communities as the laundromats themselves, as people, their culture changes within a country with laundromat. And we see that everywhere. And again, I think there's some questions later that we get into more specifics. But that's the key thing, is that it is something that a lot of people don't actually really think about. Here in the Philippines, slightly different because there is a laundry industry with the drop-off laundry or the wash, dry, fold, but it's very different to what I consider a laundromat business, which is with the type of equipment that we provide out of Alliance Laundry. It's much larger, it's industrial, it lasts significantly longer, and that's the key piece. Is that, you know, we are able to offer people the ability to own a business that is very stable, and that we can provide equipment that will not fail on that. Okay, so there's a lot of confidence that they can provide.
That's great insight. Thank you so much. And it is true. Asians are very into setting up their own entrepreneurial,
Very
right?
entrepreneurial.
So a lot of my friends who are laundromat owners or similar to this business have other businesses as well. Having a laundry shop is just one of them that they have. Thank you. And would you like to add anything to that, sir?
Yeah, so I just add a few points to that question, right? Just on top of what Dr. Suki and Ben has said. I think one of the key success factors for a laundromat to be successful is the location as well. So you need to be in the right place. It depends on where your customers is. You need to be able to understand who are the customers, whether it's tourists or whether it's in the residential area. So all the stores are not the same. So the key point is actually location. So everywhere we go, I think this is one of the most important factors. It doesn't matter which country, be it in APAC or in Europe or in the US, it's all the same. Location.
That is
So I think that is one of the key factors. And the second one that I have is that I think it needs to be a repeatable business.
Okay.
Franchise is successful not by just having one store. You need to have a system that you're able to beat in terms of pricing, in terms of customer experience, in terms of how you are able to transfer all of that from one store to the next. So the system needs to be in place.
That is right.
Yeah.
Being able to replicate those systems in different places, different neighborhoods or different locations, you must have a good idea of your customer behavior. And of course, the customer behavior, they vary from one country to another. Now, my next question is, how does consumer behavior in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, or Indonesia differ from the Philippines, as you've seen, when it comes to using laundromats?
I can think. So I think across Asia, instead of just talking about what's different first, let's talk about what is similar.
Okay.
So I think most of the customers, they are some of the things that they are looking for is the same. They're looking for time saving. They're looking for convenience. It has to be accessible, so it cannot be too far away. Good quality washing and drying. And by the way, people use Laundromat can vary quite a bit. So specifically, I think just to give you some examples, in Malaysia, doing laundry has become a big culture. So it has also become a lot of a family.
Mm-hmm.
So on the weekends, instead of just the husband or the wife doing it, the whole family is there.
Okay.
So one of the strange things that I see, or one of the very interesting things that I've seen is that they don't wear shoes.
Inside the shop. Okay.
Right. So they take off their shoes, they go, like, floors are very clean, you have kids that's playing on the ground. So that is sort of a culture that some of the laundromats have in Malaysia. And if you go to some of the other countries across Asia, let's say in Japan or in Korea, where the weather is a bit colder, you will realize that the stores are very different. There is doors. So when it's cold, the stores are warm. So that is more or less some of the influence that we see.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, do we have any other additional insights?
So I would say like and what Eddie has said, like in Thailand, right? I mean, we're already beyond for the laundromat, right? Because first time we think laundromat is for how to say for lower income or for now we don't think laundromat is for middle class or upper middle class. You can see every Saturday, Sunday in Bangkok for the bigger laundromat, the big size laundromat. You seldom see, the Mercedes-Benz, BMW.
Okay.
Because the laundromat is washed.
Right.
So it's not only for low income, business, middle class business. This is for Thailand.
That's right.
And coming for Philippines, I was thinking, you asked me the question about compare Philippines, Indonesia, right? I think here similar like Indonesia, right? Because island, right?
Yeah.
Many island and people you have over 100 million like Indonesia. Yes, so we starting in Indonesia. I mean, hopefully Philippines will be the same Indonesia. Different with Thailand. Thailand they go maybe once a week, twice a week with with shoot the basket, right? Whatever it's called. But for Indonesia, they go almost every 2 days. Small bag every 2 days. So they are different. Yes, this is what
It's a little bit different the way they schedule their trips to the laundromat. That's quite interesting. So you mentioned something about Mercedes-Benz, Bentley's parking in laundromats, right? Here in the Philippines, there's been a shift in terms of getting laundry done. Specifically in our household, we're a middle class household. We used to have someone do it at home, a staff, but it's become increasingly harder to hire stay-in staff, and so people like us have started getting introduced to laundromats as well. And there's actually one near my neighborhood, and it runs 24 hours, right? So for us, you are right. It's not just a low income. Basically, your patrons are no longer just those of the low income, but those of us struggling to find help to do our laundry, right? Especially now with the increase in interest in sports, pickleball, tennis, paddle here in Davao City. Laundry is times 2, times 3 for every person wearing their work clothes, their home clothes, plus their sports clothes now. So has there been a similar shift in nearby countries, especially with the rise of sports in?
I think it's one reason in Thailand. The first beginning in Thailand about 10 years ago, a lot of men starting there, right? So the first they're coming, the how to say middle class people bring even they have helper at home, right?
Still, okay.
So, but they cannot wash, like a pillow, blanket, right?
Specific things. Right.
So they bring this thing to the laundromat.
Okay.
So maybe a few times later they feel, wow, I'll bring the clothes, right? Because it's convenient, easy, and they can feel it's cleaner, I think, and faster, drier.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they bring everything. They don't do it.
It is simply more convenient for Filipinos, even for those of us who have help. Laundry takes so many hours in the morning. It's a lot of manual labor as well.
Correct.
Right. Ms. Donna, do you have anything to add to this
Well,
question?
here in the Philippines, what we are used to is like we bring our laundry and then we wait. The staff will say, "Oh, you just come back
Right.
like the next day
Yeah.
or 3 days after." But when I went to Brazil, it was a different story. When I went to Brazil, it's like there's no staff in their laundromat. It's like this is the first time. It's like no staff. We're gonna ask help, and I don't know how
yes.
to. But it was very easy. It's like you just have to pay for a tap, and then it was like less than an hour to do the laundry, and that is something new to us here in the Philippines. So with Smartwash, of course, this is going to be a very innovative experience for the market here. So it's going to be, I think, one of the first to introduce something, a laundry system that is very innovative. So you were asking about earlier the franchise. What is the edge? I think it's the brand, because manual laundromat stores or it's just build businesses, but with something like this and the system, it builds a bigger convenience to all of us here in the Philippines.
Mhm.